Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the annals of time to unravel the mysteries of our collective past. Today, we find ourselves at the threshold of a pivotal moment in American history, the Great Migration, which unfolded between 1620 and 1640. This period, marked by the arrival of English Puritans in New England, laid the groundwork for the complex and multifaceted society that would eventually emerge. It was a time of great turmoil and upheaval, with the English Reformation in full swing. The Church of England, under the leadership of King James I, sought to assert its authority over the realm, while dissenting voices, such as those of the Puritans and Separatists, clamored for reform. In the midst of this tumultuous landscape, a group of English separatists, led by figures like John Robinson and William Perkins, began to advocate for a more radical break with the Church of England. They envisioned a community that would be untainted by the perceived corruptions of the established church, where they could worship freely and live according to their own interpretation of Scripture. One such community, led by William Bradford and William Brewster, would eventually become the nucleus of the Pilgrims who set sail for America in 1620. These intrepid travelers, numbering around 102 souls, departed from Plymouth, England, on September 6, 1620, bound for the New World. Their journey was not without its challenges, as they faced treacherous seas and harsh weather conditions during their 66-day voyage across the Atlantic. Upon arrival in November 1620, the Pilgrims encountered an unfamiliar landscape, teeming with forests, wildlife, and Native American populations. The Wampanoag tribe, led by Chief Massasoit, would play a crucial role in the early history of Plymouth Colony, forming alliances and trading relationships that would shape the course of this migration. As we navigate the historical context of the Great Migration, it is essential to consider the role of key events, such as the English separatist movement, which emphasized the need for a pure and unadulterated form of Christianity. This movement helped lay the groundwork for the Pilgrims' decision to seek a new home in America. The early years of Plymouth Colony were marked by struggles, including disease, famine, and conflicts with Native American tribes. However, it was also a time of great resilience and adaptability, as the settlers worked to establish a thriving community in the face of overwhelming challenges. The construction of homes, farms, and trading posts helped to solidify the presence of the English in New England, paving the way for the arrival of thousands more settlers in the years to come. Notable figures, such as Miles Standish, who served as the colony's military leader, and William Bradford, who would eventually become governor of the colony, played important roles in shaping the early history of Plymouth. Their leadership and vision helped to guide the community through its formative years, laying the foundations for the growth and development that would follow. The Great Migration not only shaped the religious, political, and social landscape of New England, but also laid the groundwork for the intricate dynamics that would come to define the relationship between European settlers and Native American populations. An era marked by unprecedented growth, profound challenges, and the forging of a distinct American identity. Last time, we explored the earliest history of this migration, from the English separatist movement to the arrival of the Pilgrims in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Today, we find ourselves at the threshold of a new era, as thousands more settlers follow in the footsteps of the Pilgrims, seeking to carve out their place in the New World. The Massachusetts Bay Colony, established in 1629, begins to attract a large influx of settlers, drawn by the promise of religious freedom and economic opportunity. The colony's leader, John Winthrop, plays a crucial role in shaping the community, envisioning a city upon a hill that would serve as a beacon of hope for the rest of the world. One of the most notable events of this period is the arrival of the Arbella, a ship that set sail from England in 1630, carrying over 1,000 passengers, including many prominent Puritan leaders. Among them is Roger Williams, who would later go on to found the colony of Rhode Island and become a champion of religious freedom. The Arbella's voyage marks the beginning of a massive influx of settlers, with thousands more arriving in the years that follow. As the Massachusetts Bay Colony grows and prospers, it begins to establish trade relationships with Native American tribes, including the Wampanoag and the Narragansett. However, Tensions also rise between the English and the Native Americans as conflicts over land and resources become increasingly common. The Pequot War, which breaks out in 1636, marks a particularly dark chapter in this history, as English colonists and their Native American allies clash with the Pequot tribe in a brutal and devastating conflict. Despite these challenges, the Massachusetts Bay Colony continues to thrive with the establishment of new towns, such as Boston and Cambridge. The colony's economy begins to grow, driven by trade, agriculture, and industry. The famous Harvard University is founded in 1636, providing a hub for education and intellectual inquiry that would shape the colony's cultural and spiritual landscape. The peak years of the Great Migration also see the emergence of notable figures who would play important roles in shaping American history. Men like John Cotton, a prominent Puritan minister, and Thomas Hooker, who would later found the colony of Connecticut, helped to establish a robust theological and intellectual tradition that would influence generations to come. The English Puritans brought with them a distinct set of values, including a commitment to hard work, self-reliance, and community, which would shape the course of American society for centuries to come. An era marked by continued growth, profound challenges, and the ongoing struggle to define what it means to be American. Last time, we explored the peak years of this migration, from the arrival of the Arbella to the establishment of new towns and the emergence of notable figures who shaped American history. Today, we find ourselves at the threshold of a new era, as the Great Migration comes to a close and the seeds sown in the early 17th century begin to bear fruit. As the 1640s dawn, the Massachusetts Bay Colony has grown into a thriving community with a robust economy, a strong theological tradition, and a distinct American identity. However, this growth also brings new challenges, as tensions between the English and Native Americans continue to rise. The Pequot War may have ended in 1638, but its legacy continues to shape the relationship between European settlers and Native American populations. One of the most significant events of this period is the establishment of the United Colonies of New England in 1643, a confederation of colonies that aims to promote cooperation and defense against common enemies. This move marks an important step towards greater unity and coordination among the English colonies, but it also highlights the ongoing struggles with Native American tribes. As the Great Migration comes to a close, we see the emergence of new leaders who will shape the course of American history. Men like John Winthrop Jr., son of the famous Massachusetts Bay Colony leader, begin to take on prominent roles in colonial politics and commerce. Women like Anne Bradstreet, a celebrated poet, start to make their mark on American literature. The closing years of the Great Migration also see significant developments in education and culture. Harvard University, founded in 1636, continues to thrive, attracting students from across the colonies. The establishment of new schools and colleges, such as the Boston Latin School, marks an important step towards promoting education and intellectual inquiry. The English Puritans brought with them a distinct set of values, including a commitment to hard work, self-reliance, and community, which would shape the course of American society for centuries to come. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.